Okay, so just a couple of things before we start our centering and yoga practice. Um, you know, we've had a lot of hot weather, although it's cooler yesterday and today, especially at night. But just as a mention, and this is really short, you know what Ayurveda is, right?
Hmm.
Ayurveda is a sister to yoga, and it's the biophysical um, um, energies of the body. And our foods that we eat affect our doshas, you know, pitta, vata, kapha. So this is just a mention, a little paragraph about rethink your diet. And it says in Ayurveda, sour, spicy, and salty foods, plus red wine, red meat, and hard liquor are considered heat builders. So in when it's hot outdoors, you want to avoid those foods. That may just make sense
Hmm.
if you thought about it without hearing this, but I saw it, I liked it, and I thought it might be helpful. So she says instead fill up on foods with sweet, bitter, and astringent qualities, which are more cooling. Cook with cilantro. Some of you who are good in the kitchen um, already know that. Or mint. Snack on sunflower seeds. Or top your oats with ghee. And you know what ghee is, right?
Yes.
It's clarified butter, and it's really highly, highly good for you. So enjoy plenty of fruits and veggies with such as berries, melon, zucchini, broccoli, kale, and spinach. So that's just a mention about nutrition and Ayurveda. So, and then I picked a card just for the fun of it from this deck, the Perfect Calm deck. Okay, because it has some helpful hints in it to soothe body, mind, and spirit. So the one that I got was to nurture your creativity. Okay, you can see that. And it's just a paragraph here. Creativity is an important tension release. I don't think we think of it as a tension release, but it it is. It is as natural for human beings to create as it is for birds to fly. Yet we often fail to acknowledge our inner creativity. Develop your creative skills by erecting a gallery in your mind with pictures dedicated to your positive personality traits. So this can also kind of weave into your self-esteem, building that up, because if you're looking at positive personality traits, that would be a given that you're considering yourself positive and with positive personality traits. So create visual images for the following aspects of your true nature: peacefulness, happiness, honesty, kindness, openness, warmth, and generosity. So knowing you all like I do, I see that in all of you. But do you see that in yourself? Okay. So honoring your personality traits and picturing, you know, using your imagination um, to create that little gallery in your mind. And we can play with that during our practice. Almost said this morning. No, this afternoon. So having gone through those things that I just wanted to mention, we'll get started. And I have a couple of fun things for you. We're still working up to the exercise that I have not shown you yet and will not be showing you until we develop a little more strength. Now, maybe you, like Jeannie, you've been in Debbie's um, training class, personal training, and you may do more arm work than, I don't know, maybe more than we do in here. I don't know. We do quite a bit, but anyway, this exercise that we're working up to is what I consider vigorous. So we're just working up to it still, but we will be addressing that tonight. And then a new one that I have for you that is kind of fun and is good at warming us up. So we'll start with centering, letting go of the day. We're in the middle of the week. So we can just see ourselves. If you imagine yourself sitting on a huge figure 8 that is sideways, okay, so the place where it crosses, imagine that underneath you. So the figure 8 on its side is the infinity symbol. So just see yourself, it's like, okay, it's Wednesday, we're in the middle. So see yourself sitting in the middle of that figure 8 where it crosses over. So the past is behind you and the future isn't here yet. You're in the now, right in center. Okay. So if you'd like to close your eyes and just allow your body to lift, but relaxing shoulders, jaw, and in your mind, just for a moment, picture your personal positive personality traits as you envision them. Okay. How are you? How do you see yourself when you're in a state of peacefulness? What would that picture look like in your mind? You being peaceful. Notice where you are, what you're doing, if anything, maybe who you're with, or maybe you're alone. How does that look to you? And then your happiness. See if you can create a picture in your mind, an image of you in a state of happiness. Just imagining that, I can feel a little release in my back, and it makes me feel happy to think about that as a personality trait. So, how is that for you? And honesty. People have different views on that. They think, oh, a little white lie is okay, or a little fudging here is okay. And maybe it is. But how is it for you? What does your honesty look like as a personality trait? What comes to mind when you see yourself in a state of kindness? Maybe random acts. We hear a lot about that. Different articles write about it. What does kindness look like coming through your personality? And do you treat yourself with kindness as well as others? How do you picture yourself in a state of openness? How does your body feel when you're in that state? And is that reserved for only certain people, or is it a general state? Just how do you see that operating, expressing through you? Is it something you want to be all the time, or are there times where you feel that's not what you want? And seeing an image of warmth as it expresses through your personality. So, again, is that something that's reserved for certain people, or are you one that expresses that generally? And this is, your personal positive personality trait, so it's right for you, not for anybody else. And finally, how does generosity express through you, through your personality? And having kind of explored that in our beginning of our centering and practice, we'll bring our attention now to our breathing, just observing the breath, feeling it. Notice if your breath feels open or closed, as in tight or tense. Notice your emotional body. there's anything, any emotions just rising to the surface. Your nervous system with some of the masking, with some of these changes that we're being encouraged to comply with. What does that do to your nervous system? If anything, maybe it doesn't bother you at all. And finally, notice your muscles and joints and see what sensations are expressing through you at this point. So, for our attunement to breath, I'd like to kind of weave these personality traits that we're exploring into our breathing technique as affirmations. So, if you just bring palms into Anjali Mudra, prayer hands, and we'll lift our arms as we breathe in a deep breath and mentally just say, I am. As you exhale, the first trait is peaceful. And then the next one, breathing up, I am open and happy is the trait here as we exhale. Breathing up, I am honest. Breathing up, I am kind. Loving kindness. Breathing up, I am open. It's easy to imagine that as we open our arms out, right? And breathe, I am warm, maybe warm-hearted or considered caring. And then breathing up, I am generous. And then just breathing palms back. And this last one is all encompassing. So lift, mentally repeating, I am open, repeating mentally that I am. So I am that I am, the great I am. And let's repeat that one more time. I am that I am. Ending in prayer hands. And then just release your hands to your knees or thighs. And we'll start with our snake sway, loosening up. Oh, just rolling through our spine, being little waves of algae or seaweed. Coming back to center and shoulders. Just circle around. Inhale, lift. Back, exhale down. Move with the breath. And reverse. All right, just stretch our arms up overhead. Interlace fingers, turn palms upward, stretching arms back a little bit, reaching up more, pressing down in your hips and lift up a little more. And just turn side to side. One last reach in center. And exhale your arms down. Bring them around back. Let's do it in the back too. Interlace fingers. Open the shoulders. I am open. So let the chakras open. Let any debris or dross drain out. And then release. Just lean forward slightly. Arms just slightly pulled away from your back, and draw your hands down towards the floor. If you touch the floor, then lean forward a little more and stretch a little further. Bring your arms down. That pulls your shoulders down away from your ears, and a nice stretch. And then release. And just bend your elbows. We've had our arms straight, so just bend and straighten. All right, and then take it down into the wrists. Reverse. And squeezing fingers. We're going to be doing some plank type things, so we'll be on our hands. So we want to get them nice and warm, lubricated. Okay, before we go there, just bring your arms against your ribs or your torso, and have your hands just your forearm parallel to the floor, and bring your thumb in, and then wrap your fingers around your thumbs. We're just going to press that thumb knuckle forward, stretching in the wrist, and then pull it back. You can also do this with a hand weight, if you have your little 2 or 3 pounders. All right, great. Now just stretch your legs out, shake them, pat them on the floor, circle around in your ankles, and reverse. All right, let's come up for some hip openers onto the balls of our feet. A few rocks forward and back to loosen up a little more in the toes and ankles. Let your knees down. Come up sitting on your heels. Just let that stretch happen in your toes and your feet. While we're here, just bring your hands behind your head, interlace fingers. And we're just going to come over to the side a little bit, but keep your elbows open and just come over to the side. And breathe as you lift up. Exhale, other side. Once more, each side. Breathe. Breathe out. Elbows open. Inhale. Last time. Hmm. And release your arms. Come up onto the balls of your feet and separate your feet out for our hip openers, side to side, just pressing the knee open. So that's our affirmation, I am open. And we'll come down into center. Just separate your feet. Press your knees open as you bring palms in. Thumbs coming into your sternum. And maybe a few little waddles side to side. And lift up through your crown. Breathe, connect with earth. Okay, now just bringing your palms down. Keep pressing your elbows into your thighs or knees. Bring your palms down and lean forward onto your hands. You can come up onto the balls of your feet and I just want you to bring some weight onto your hands, and then you can pull back. So in and out. Spread your fingers out nice and wide. Press down the inner side of your knuckles and then come back. Press and come back. Now we'll just come onto hands and knees for a couple of cat stretches. Actually, when I pulled the perfect calm cards, the first one out was stretch like a cat. So it's like, yes, we're going to do yoga, and yes, that's showing up in the cards. And then there was another one right after that that was a yoga pose too. So it's pretty funny when you're working with cards and synchronicity. So from here, separate your knees, just hip width apart, palms under your shoulders. A nice long line to start. Press your crown towards the wall in front of you and your tailbone to the wall behind you, and take in a breath. Exhale, draw your core muscles up and in and curl in, lifting your spine into the arching cat, or rounded cat, I should say. And then inhale into your arching cat. Moving with the breath, moving through each piece of your spine. And then back to center. So, come down onto your forearms and just bring your palms together. Stretch your feet back into an elbow plank. If it feels better to interlace your fingers, you're welcome to do that. Feet are about hip width apart. And just work with your core muscles here, as well as your legs and hips. Firm muscles. And then let your knees down and come back up onto your palms. Turn your toes under, come into your plank, your upward plank. Now you have to lean over a little bit, but bring up your left arm. And we'll switch arms. So you'll need to pull over a little bit to the side and bring it down. Now bend your knees. We're going to hop in. You don't have to bring your feet in between your hands, but just towards your hands, okay? So pull back and hop in, bend your knees, and hop out. Bend, pull back, jump in, see if you can get a little closer, and jump out. All right. Now let your knees down. Walk your hands just slightly forward, an inch or two, and let your hips come forward and stretch in your spine. You can bring your shoulders up to your ears, pull them back, and then down. Hang in traction. You can also roll side to side. Now pull your body away from your knees, stretching the front side of your body. You may be able to feel this in your psoas muscles as well as your abdominal muscles. So just being cautious with your knees, making sure they're facing down, taking a breath. Exhale, bend your elbows and bring the pubic triangle onto the mat. Shoulders back and down, elbows come in into your cobra. If you want, for heating purposes, Kapalabhati. So that's your quick thrust of the exhale. You start with a little inhale and thrust. Now release Kapalabhati and come fully, a little more deeply into your cobra. And press up and back into child's pose. Relax, breathe. Arms at your sides, palms up. You may need to circle around in your wrists, fingers. Then let your elbows soften. Shoulders soften. All right. And let's bring our hands forward and just come into a little puppy stretch. Stretching shoulders down, lengthen. And we'll press up into our downward dog. We'll grow our puppy into down dog. Take your hips side to side if you like. And then we'll come into three-legged dog. Just going to turn sideways for demonstration purposes. So we'll all take our right leg up
into three-legged dog. Reach up. And press down in the left heel. Bend your knee and lift your knee up. We'll open the hips here. So lift the leg, lift the right hip. Shoulders are forward. Optional, flipping your dog. Bring the foot down behind you. Open. We did our cobra, so our backs are nice and loose. Open into an arch. And come back down into a plank. Pull back into down dog. Now just make sure you don't have any accessories near you when you come down for your flip dog if you opt for it. It's fun. So lifting the left leg up, stretch. Shoulders towards your thighs. And bend your knee, lift your knee up. Open the hip. And optional once again, flipping your dog down and lift up. Arching your back. And then coming back around. A nickel just, or no, a quarter just dropped out of my pocket. I didn't know it was in there. Pennies from heaven, right? Okay, so just run your feet in towards your hands for head to knee pose. And then soften your knees. We're just going to come up, arms out to the side, lift your torso, press up. You'll pass through chair pose and reach up and open your arms down. And just get comfortable in your clothes if you need to. Circle around in your shoulders after your down dog and flipping your dog. Get all loosened up. All right. Now, this next one is one we have not done, but it's just a fun little warm up and can help with balance a little bit too. So it's got something else in my pocket there. Okay, so this one, just stand with your feet hip width apart and interlace your fingers behind your head once again. Okay, so you want your elbows open the whole time, if possible. Sometimes we're concentrating on more than one thing at a time, so it's just the direction. So we're going to lift, it'll be your left knee, and bring your elbow down to touch. Down, down, lift your knee, touch if you can, if it'll reach, touch, touch. One more, touch, and now the other side. Okay, remember to breathe. Breathing is required. Breathe in and touch, 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 touch. One more. Touch.
Okay, side to side, starting with your left, over, whoops, I just hit my thigh, my knee, and other side, side to side. Once more, each leg, 1 and 2, and release your arms, shake them out. Let's do some swings, loosening up in the shoulders. All right, beautiful. Okay, so come towards the front end of your mat and a really strong mountain pose, Tadasana. So you're pressing, grounding your feet into the earth through the soles of your feet. Lift up through your crown. Fingertips reach to the ground. Shoulder blades pull under. That opens your heart. Good. Lifting in the front of the body. Pulling down in the back. And just soften your knees a little bit and breathe palms into prayer hands. And reach your left leg back into warrior one pose with the feet parallel. The back foot, the heel is off the floor. So just lift up in your ribs. Let your pose deepen. Hip bones are pointing forward. Now I'll make this optional. If you want to keep your hands where they are, that's fine. If you'd like to take them overhead and form whatever mudra you want to make, you can do Kali mudra if you wish, or just fingertips up. But wherever you want to be in this moment, your choice. From here, we'll bring our palms in and we'll go into a prayer twist. So bringing your left elbow over your right knee. Still grounded in the earth. Open your arms. I am open. Palms together, facing forward. Press down on your feet. Just peel your torso up. Coming up, pull back, inhale, and step it in. We held that for a little while there. Okay. Little jiggles we do in the Friday class. Well, we do that in our evening classes too, didn't we, Connie and Danielle? Okay. So coming into your strong mountain pose. Take in your breath. Soften your knees and reach back with your right leg. So this is one pose that really gives a nice stretch in your thigh, especially the back thigh and the psoas muscles. Lift up in the front of the body. And again, arms, optional. Just deepen your pose. And bring palms in. We'll come into our prayer twist.
over your left leg. Use your arms for leverage. And come back to the front. Lift your torso up, pull back, inhale, and step it in. Pause for a moment, just close your eyes. I am peaceful, I am happy. I am kind. I am open. I am generous. I am that I am. A spark of the divine. Imagine that. And we'll come down for a twist now. So open your eyes. Just bring your arms up overhead. We'll come into a swan dive. Reaching up. Open out. Exhale down. Lead with your chest into head to knee pose. And then just bend your knees. Come down sitting. Okay. So just with knees bent, bring your left arm around and scoop your right arm out. Breathe and lift it up. Come around to the side into your twist. Remember to lift. Breathe. And then press down in your sitting bones and breathe that right arm up next to your ear, and then unwind and wrap the arm around your thighs, or I'm sorry, your knees or your shins, and scoop your left arm out and breathe it up. Turn. Bring your arm down close to your hips. All right, now press the sitting bones down and breathe your left arm up next to your ear and unwind. Bringing palms on both shins, separate your feet in just a couple of cat moves, stretching and loosening up in your back. And at this point, you may be affirming, I am warm. All right, so prepare for your Shavasana. Coming down onto your back. And letting yourself completely open, become peaceful and happy, honest and filled with kindness, warmth, and generosity. See if you can let go just a little bit more. And a little bit more. Now, as you're at your deepest point in relaxation, just affirm to yourself, I am peaceful. I am happy. I am honest. I am kind. I am open. I am warm-hearted. I am generous. I am that I am, a spark of the divine. Bring your awareness back into the room, aware of the sounds. Picture all of the objects in the room. Feel the mat and the floor underneath you. And bring in some moves to your body. And then slide feet and legs together and lift your knees. Draw them in close. And then come up into sitting. And if you'd like to bring your hands into the B mudra, Brahmari mudra, bring your index finger and fold it in like you're saying, oh, A-OK, and then touch your second finger with your thumb and spread the ring finger and pinky finger out. And then just rest your hands on your knees.
honoring the goddess Brahmari Devi, the goddess of the bees, without which we would have no food, our pollinators. And sealing in the benefits and all the energies of our practice tonight. And then bring palms into Anjali Mudra. And may you experience all those wonderful qualities within you, those God qualities, which you are. Namaste, everybody. Thank you for being here. I love you. I love you. I love you.
And thank you for